Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. It is the year 2515. The war in heaven continues. Things aren't going great, but they're not going too terribly. We're not out of it yet. We are about 12% down in the war exhaustion race. And the Imari lately have been doing some work here in the northern part of the map, and we have been regaining some of our space. Meanwhile, down here, the Prethrin Scourge have established a foothold. They are continuing to spread up toward us. I'm trying to hold them right here and kind of force them to expand into the Bavi space. I noticed I have a bunch of planets in my main area of space that we could colonize, and I'm thinking about it, but that would also tie up some of our resources, so I'm not sure I want to do that, but there are a bunch of planets there. Meanwhile, our fleet, right now our one and only fleet, is upgrading in this system. And I decided to go ahead and make another fleet.
Construction complete.
And at first I decided to send them up toward this other choke point. It wasn't long before I changed my mind, of course, but that's where I sent them initially. Meanwhile, up here, the Imari are bombarding a couple of planets. There is a Bavi garrison on this planet, Askelion Prime, and another Bavi planet here. Both of these planets used to be mine, but the Imari are bombarding them, so I decided to go over to Earth, where really not much is going on these days, and build some assault armies. I've got a few different types I could build here, but I'm going to go for the cheapest type of assault army because I'm cheap like that. Meanwhile, the Scourge are spreading up towards us, and I noticed on the map we have two Scourge fleets here totaling about 100k. So I'm going to bring both of my fleets back down to this choke point to defend against that. Our deal to import exotic gases has run out once again, and we will once again re-up that deal. The Imari have their largest fleet parked right here. I kind of wish they would send that fleet up to attack the Bavi, but they have it sitting down here, and they've been kind of slowly using it to attack the Scourge every once in a while. But meanwhile, up at Askelion Prime, where the Imari continue to bombard, a small group of transports from the High Kingdom have arrived. I'm still building some transports myself, but it looks like the High Kingdom are going to have a go at it, and they will be invading this planet. So they get into position. They begin to land their troops, and it's not long before it appears they have captured the planet for themselves. But not long after that, we get the planet back. So now we have Askelion Prime back in our list of planets. Meanwhile, in the northern part of the map, the Bavi have been pushing back a little bit and regaining some of their space, but the Imari are kind of doing the same, and they're just sort of going back and forth trading systems at the moment. The war exhaustion difference is about 11% now. But we have rogue drones on Sabakri, so that's not good. But in the meantime, the Amari Colossus is once again on the move, and this time it has a small fleet escorting it. So I'm going to keep an eye on the Colossus, and
Construction complete.
hopefully if it does something spectacular, I'll be able to catch it on camera. But in the meantime, that large Imari fleet
Construction complete.
has decided to get a little bit aggressive, so I'm going to have my fleet follow. But instead of getting aggressive, they just kind of hung out in this system for a while. If you watched the last video, you saw that I had about 3 million unity and it went to 0 unity in about a half second. I'm still not sure what caused that, but as a result, I'm having to stagger my edicts that I'm putting into effect. Eventually, that Imari fleet got aggressive again and decided to attack the Kelzen.
Hostile stationary asset engaged.
My fleet was with them for this battle, and then the Amari went over and started bombarding Abdrade Prime. But I decided to disengage my fleet, stop following the Amari, and go back to my choke point because some Scourge fleets appeared to be closing in. And it looked for a second like we were flying straight into a battle. But as it turned out, my fleet appears to be faster than the Scourge. And you can tell they're trying to intercept us. And I don't know how close we were to a battle right here. I know at a certain distance they would automatically engage, but we are faster than them. And we made it on by. It looked like they were going to follow. So I decided to have my fleet hold up in this system because there's a decent sized star base here with some weaponry. And I thought they were going to follow us into this system and we would have a battle. I was pretty confident we would win that battle, but the Scourge did not follow us. And so eventually I sent my fleet on back to Ijajan. Order has been restored on Sabakri, so that's good news. The Colossus made it to a system with a Bavi planet, Gossamer Prime, which used to belong to us. But somewhere along the way, the Colossus lost its escort, and so now it's just kind of sitting here, flying around in circles and taking shots from the starbase. And so I thought, oh man, the AI is doing its AI thing, and I figured the Colossus was done for, that it would just sit here until it was destroyed. We'll get back to that story in a minute though, because look at this. A deep space spy drone has stumbled upon the site of what appears to have been a recent space battle between the Pretherin and a second as yet unidentified party in the Mothalum system. A Pretherin queen was badly injured in the fighting and seems to have been left for dead. The spy drone has reported that the creature is still alive, however. This could be a priceless opportunity to capture the queen alive. Perhaps we should send an expedition.
Situation log adjusted.
But unfortunately, when I looked at the situation log to find out where this possible expedition would be, it turned out to be on the other side of the galaxy, right in the middle of the space that the Pretheran Scourge has taken over in here. And so there's probably not much I can do about trying to capture the Pretheran Queen. I'm sure it would be a worthwhile project. It would give us some kind of an advantage, but it looks like we can't do much about that. This is kind of weird because I thought there was only one Leviathan in the galaxy, and that Leviathan was already defeated, but now it says there was another Leviathan that was defeated. So I don't know if another Leviathan showed up or what happened there, but either way, apparently another Leviathan has been defeated by the Scourge. Meanwhile, the Amari have been bombarding Abdrade Prime all this time.
Engage. Construction complete.
And a Scourge fleet has arrived.
Mining station deconstructed.
So there is going to be a battle.
Alert. Station engage.
The Amari won the battle, but they took quite a bit of damage, so instead of going back to continue their bombardment, they retreated for a while to repair and reinforce. Can't say I blame them. I'm pretty I play pretty cautiously myself,
complete.
as you've seen, but in the meantime, apparently fallen empires, awakened empires can have rebellions as well, because a new faction has appeared. Eventually the Amari repaired, reinforced, and they went on back to continue bombarding. This time I did not follow them because there are a bunch of Scourge fleets kind of poised to attack in several different places, but the Amari made it on through without having another battle. And they went on back to continue bombarding Abdrade Prime. We now have a 10% difference in our war exhaustion with the Ba-V. So we're catching up very slowly, but in the meantime, once again, our exotic gas deal ran out, so I'm going to re-up that deal. And meanwhile, up here, the Amari continue to bombard this Ba-V planet. The garrison strength is about 281. My transport fleet strength is 401. So let's go ahead and send them over here to invade. And let's go ahead and recruit a leader. And one leader stands out from all the rest. He has a trait of Butcher, which increases army damage. I like the sound of that. So we'll recruit him, or it, and send them to invade. There is a Ba-V space station in the way, but the fleet will automatically avoid that and go through Imari space. And in the meantime, order has been restored on Syrah. So at least a few good things are happening here and there. And we are slowly catching up with our war exhaustion.
Planetary pacification protocols initiated.
But our fleets have reached the planet, our assault armies, and they have landed. I wish this battle screen was more exciting. It would be cool if they had some interesting animation to show us instead of these circles. But nonetheless, we are clearly winning.
Ground invasion units have achieved all objectives.
And we retook the planet. So, of course, getting all these colonies back will eventually throw my economy out of whack again. We all know it. We all know it's going to happen. It's inevitable. I'm terrible at colony management. We're already at a deficit again on consumer goods. But never mind that, because we are about to see something cool. The Imari Colossus reached, finally, I guess somebody took the star base, probably the Imari themselves, and the Colossus was able to reach Gossamer Prime, and they are about to encase Gossamer Prime in an impenetrable shield.
Construction complete.
I don't know if that means we'll be able to use Gossamer Prime or not. I'm thinking not. Maybe it's temporary. I don't know. I should look up these things, but of course I never do. But there you go. It was a cool looking process anyway, and now Gossamer Prime is encased in an impenetrable shield. I like it. So now I'm kind of thinking, because the Scourge have established a large foothold on the other side of the galaxy, maybe I should start to push into their space and shrink their space over here. I don't want to weaken them too much because I want them to be a challenge for the Ba-V. But I'm thinking it might be a good idea to weaken them a little bit and push maybe to this choke point or even to this choke point if possible. But I think on that note, this is a good place to end this video. Some interesting and exciting things have happened. The war, we're still losing the war in heaven, but things seem to be turning around a little bit. Hopefully we can keep that going. I guess we'll find out in the next video. But for now, as always, thanks very much for watching.